The most philosophical yet funny character that has ever been written is for me Imran from ZNMD. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. And today we are talking in detail about this character. Very important character. The way this character switches from being funny to philosophy to actually tearing you down to the rawest and realest emotions. Everyone needs to take notes from this character development. Let's start. This is the character that I felt was one of the most relatable characters. Number one, because it went through abandonment issues, marriage, and commitment issues. It saw a couple that was not harmonious. So, always thought that vulnerability, relationships, everything is a very sensitive topic, and was hiding behind poetry, philosophy, and work and funny pranks just to hide real life problems and emotions that actually anchored in their parents. This is Imran from ZNMD, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, the one who made Spain trip possible but also had a hidden agenda behind it because his father was in Spain. Now let's forget about the trip. Let's forget where they are traveling. Only thing you have to remember right now is Imran going through his character development arc from being very bad at being vulnerable, hiding emotions, to actually facing the internal problems, to confessing his inner issues to his father and asking difficult questions, being more vulnerable, and finally letting things go. This character development from his childhood to adulthood to the problems and questions and inner quest, and finally understanding and accepting what his father did, why he did, just letting it go. This movie is not only about travel, but it is about inner travel to outer travel. Your journey that starts from outside actually is starting from inside, and all you need to do is stay connected to yourself. Whatever your thoughts are, they are going to change throughout this journey. And Imran is exactly that example. This character is so important that I have actually made notes. When he was going through the problem where his father had, never wanted a kid, but his mother was imminent on having one, and which was Farhan, this can actually cause some real life adulthood problems for the kid. Knowing that he or she was always unwanted in the first place can bring real life midlife crisis, because those problems are slightly natal, coming from womb of mother. And I'm not a psychologist, but I've heard this from a lot of my friends who are doing a lot of research when it comes to emotions and childhood traumas and stuff like that. In Imran's case, it was more of an abandonment wound, which eventually led him to fearing any commitment, and he was more into casual relationships. Didn't matter if it was serious, not serious. And he was also not very interested in apologizing, even though he kind of did a thing that he shouldn't have done with a best friend. This means he wasn't a bad person, but he was an emotionally underdeveloped personality. Why? Because he was so scared of facing his real emotions when it came to his father, or understanding why he left. That's where it hits hard, when the most, or when the funniest character in the movie stops laughing, we all cry. And that's what happens with Imran. So the journey starts when they are moving towards Spain. He wants to meet his father, but he constantly deviates and runs away from it. So he's in this constant conflict of, should I meet him, should I not meet him, what if he doesn't recognize me? That is the level of issue he has is with his father. And the moment they meet, after this long journey of 3 hours of the movie, he is now trying to communicate. And I know how difficult it is for sons to have a conversation with their fathers, because I've seen my father having difficulty having a conversation with his father. And in India, classically, it's a big gap. maybe because of the family or society setup we are born in, and men have higher expectations from men, and they always want to man up, be macho, not talk about vulnerable emotions and um, whatever marriage things might exist. One thing that is for sure, he gathers courage to entirely flip the script of his emotions, and he asks his father, why did you leave all of us? And that's when Salman says that because I wanted to travel the world. He wasn't ready for a kid. And Imran, being an adult, was actually looking like a 7-year-old kid in that moment. Like, why would you go? And in all these years, you never tried to contact me. That felt like a moment where any child deserves a parent, either of them, to stay in touch. Divorced, undivorced, together, or not together, but the child deserves that love, right? That entire moment of confession where they both have this deep conflict related conversation फील होता है वो उस मोमेंट में कि कोई भी लड़का अगर अपने फादर से ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा है तो वो बेयर मिनिमम से भी लो है कि आप कम से कम इतने सालों में एक कॉल तो कर सकते हो, ज़्यादा तो नहीं मांगा, राइट? सो इमरान का कैरेक्टर जितना फ़नी दिखाया गया स्टार्ट में, जितना क्वर्की एंड इंटरेस्टिंग था, उतना ही सबसे ज़्यादा वल्नरेबल कैरेक्टर निकला. क्यों? क्योंकि कॉमेडी के पीछे एक किरदार छुपा हुआ होता है जो अपनी कहानी खुशी खुशी बताने की कोशिश कर रहा है, तब जबकि वो खुद अंदर से रो रहा हो. एंड इमरान इज़ एग्जैक्टली दैट. This is a story about Imran, who then, after having that difficult conversation, and his father says frankly and freely, no, I did miss you, but it never came inside of me to go and hunt for you. That raw, real honesty, which was absolutely brutally cruel, I'm sure something must have killed in Imran, but he needed to hear that. He needed to know that parents will choose what they want and you will have to be okay with it. But what you can do is you can become a better person after that thing. Better, easier said than done. This is Zoya Akhtar's story, but it will hit hard, and it has hit hard a lot of kids because we all somewhere have complicated relations with our parents. I mean, many of us are blessed as well, but we need to figure out what kind of equation we are building with them in long run, because they will dictate our romantic life, our professional life, personal life, everything. And we will not even understand how we have been interacting with people, but it's so much parental imprint on our responses. So इमरान के कैरेक्टर को मैं बहुत डीप में जाके एनालाइज कर चुकी हूँ, एंड आई हैव लर्न 3 things from इमरान. Number 1, फ्रेंडशिप. दोस्तों के लिए कुछ भी करेगा. Number 2, सॉरी बोलना आता नहीं है इसको, बट सॉरी एक्शंस के थ्रू बता ज़रूर सकता है कि फ़ोन मैंने तेरा फेंक दिया है, बट ये रहा नया फ़ोन. हक करके हो सॉरी बोल सकता है. थर्ड थिंग, जब फ़नी है ठीक है, पर जब फिलोसॉफिकल हो जाएगा तो आपको पक्का रुला देगा. So this is very important to understand about Imran, that Imran is a classic example of a wounded child who eventually accepts what has happened and recreates recreates this memories and emotions of getting in touch with himself. I know, pretty complicated character, but if you sit for 3 hours with Imran, I'm sure you will come back as a different person. So this was all about ZNMD part 3, where we have now talked about Imran. There are so many movie scenes I can show you, but more than showing movie scenes, I just wanted to have this heartfelt conversation with camera, and I'm going to see my own video multiple times because I know बहुत बार ऐसे इमोशंस आते हैं जो कि हमारे चाइल्डहुड रिलेटेड होते हैं, एंड आई फील we need to have that regulatory method. So for me, it's more about watching my own videos and being able to understand that everybody is human at the end of the day. We need to remove the titles parents, children, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. At the end of the day, we all are human, and how can we understand each other better every single day is the goal. And in that process, not losing ourselves. This is what I've learned from Imran. Would love to know what you people think about Imran from ZNMD. Until then, see you in my next one. Bye bye.